Charleston White is going out sad. We on the road to 100K. Okay, if you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. Shouts out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Let's see what it's hitting for.
Don't get me wrong. When Charleston White is on, he's on. He's not just a comedian or a guy talking trash. When he's serious and speaking of things intellectually, he has some really good points. And that's the beauty about Charleston White. You get the crash outs with the vibes, and then at the same time, you get a lot of deep understanding about the issues, not only involving the black community, but other things like such as racism. And this is the beauty and duality of listening to Charleston White talk. He can make you laugh, he can make you cry, or he can make you think. And that brings us to the whole situation about his recent interview with Say Cheese TV, in which he was basically describing the issue with Stephon Diggs and Cardi B.
They just ain't getting a lot of benefit out of being a hoe.
Yeah, she's getting championed right now. A lot of women are praising her for moving on and not...
Multiple baby daddies. But you don't hear the Latino community praising her. It's just black women. Because black women have multiple baby daddies. Mexican and white women don't. Julio put 4 or 5 babies in the... She got 2 different baby daddies. He got 7 different baby mamas. And all the kids are around the same age.
Now, Charleston White to me is on point with this, no matter how graphic he's gonna make it. And the reality is people who are celebrating this, this woman who is getting pregnant by a guy who already has 2 more kids on the way, this is nonsense. Nobody else, no real functioning community can think that this is gonna be some good behavior. Just the truth, all right? And then the majority of the podcast, not only was he holding the women accountable, he was also holding black men accountable. But toward the end of this particular clip, he said something that really stood out.
I almost want my son to go, go cross the railroad tracks and marry. I don't want to marry no black chick.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the last black baby of my family, cause I got mixed children. Yeah, I'm the last black baby.
Damn, so
after me, it won't be unless my brother have a baby. And then my sister, her children's name changed. So the last name White, there won't be no more black people as whites because I went and had mixed children.
Charleston White says he's done having black babies, and his kids are going to be mixed. And the reason why he's saying the kids are going to be mixed is because, well, he's just tired of black culture. And so he would like his kids to be mixed.
His kids are already fucking born.
At least he's implying that they won't have that same element of, bad behavior and issues that black Americans have. All right. Now, just recently before that, Charleston White was criticizing Charlie Kirk and white people for being racist. This is what he was saying, right? He was saying, listen, you guys had no problem when I was calling out the rappers for what they were saying.
Charleston White is a fucking contradiction.
You have an issue. And so people were saying, listen, Charleston White, you and Charlie Kirk are pretty much the same people. Like, you talk down on the blacks, or at least hold the blacks accountable. Charlie Kirk is talking down on blacks or holding the blacks accountable.
He said he wasn't.
So what's the difference between you and him?
Problem with people saying Kirk is like me, he ain't stood up to the whites. He ain't stood up to the... I've been standing up to the negative elements in the detriment of black people. He ain't looked to white people and said, hey, we got a bunch of white kids shooting up schools. Say we got a bunch of white kids and they babies. We lead the nation in child and children. Hey, man, we need that list out. They say the president's name is on that list. He ain't doing that to his people. He was a talking point who spread a lot of misinformation, almost the borderline of lying.
So Charleston White actually has a masterful response, in my opinion. He's saying, listen, unlike Charlie Kirk, I don't just hold whites accountable or white racists accountable. I have history of doing both. When the white racist is out here doing school shootings and, on the conservative right, they're crashing out, you don't hear Charlie Kirk, or you never hear him talking about what's going on in the right. For an example, we heard what was going on with him in Israel and some of the Israel conservatives, and he was having some problems with that. But being that he's Christian and race loyal, we never heard Charlie Kirk speaking about the problems on the white right. I'm pretty sure that they're there, they're human, so they gotta have issues. but you never heard about those problems or those conflicts. On the other hand, Charleston White absolves himself by saying, I'm more willing to play fair. But then what's the problem with his argument? The problem with his argument is it doesn't matter that you play fair because you say yourself, I don't want my kids to be black anymore. I want my kids to be white. Now, it doesn't matter that Charleston White is being serious, if he's being playful, because somebody who doesn't know Charleston White, and if you were to listen to him right now, and this is your first time coming across him, well then, what would you say? You would say, well, this person seems serious. This person is trying to give some level of a dialogue, and he's already expressed his discomfort for the behavior of black people in America. So when he's talking about this, he has to be serious. And what happens is it reinforces somebody's point about black people. For an example, if Charlie Kirk fans, or Charlie Kirk himself, if he's alive, and he hears Charleston White say this, he would understand why a black person would say this. So it could, in his mind, or anybody else that has a biased opinion or prejudiced opinion about black people, to go out and repeat this. Now here's the issue. As black people, when we go out and repeat this publicly, what we never expect is for white people to start repeating the same thing that we say publicly about each other. Now, obviously they started these rhetorics before, this nonsense and all of that. But now,
man, Charleston White don't give a damn about nothing but his pockets. He don't care about black people. He don't care about white people. He don't care about nothing. He say it. He don't care about nothing.
And say it. All they got a point is, well, the blacks are also saying the same thing. And then now we get upset about it. Here's the situation about white racists and then black people who are tired of the black community. You should never get mad that white people are doing your bidding after you basically allowed them to do it. Let me give you an example. Brandon Tatum, he's one of the guys that's built a very profitable career attacking black dysfunction. Now, it's not as profitable as it used to be because now so many other blacks are doing it. And it's more interesting to be in the geopolitical Palestine-Israel, wars and debates. But, Brandon Tatum has a white wife, okay? He's already made videos about why, as a black American, he started dating white women, what it did for his mentality when he went to school.
I thought he had a redhead.
But now, once white people start taking his talking points and they start trying to make it mainstream or even build on top of it, he feels threatened.
He may not want to say he is, but he's racist. The things that you're saying is actually racist. You can't couple it by saying black people do this. I'm afraid of black. When I see a black person, but then what about the black people you see that don't have saggy pants? Do you still believe that about them? He go on to talk about how he want to marry somebody that look like him. That like he could see a black woman and like her, but he can't be with her because she's not white. That's racist.
So this is Brandon.
I'm not gonna say that's racist, bro. I'm not gonna. That's preference. I wouldn't say that's racist. I'd say that's preference. You could like a white girl, but you don't want your kids. You could be black and white, like a white girl, but you might not want your kids to be mixed, and vice versa. You might be a white guy. You might like black girls. But you don't want mixed kids. Vice versa. You could be a white girl. You don't want mixed kids though. I'd say that's preference, not necessarily, because my preference is black women. You know what I'm saying? So.
Can't be with her because she's not white. That's racist.
So this is Brandon Tatum talking about Nick Fuentes. So Brandon Tatum is saying, listen, Nick Fuentes is a racist. But why is he a racist? He's saying that he don't want to marry black people. So he's saying that if he loved a black woman, he would keep race loyal. So he has an issue with that. But now you want to pick and choose what are your battles. You see, when you go out there and you talk about, I want to have mixed kids, you're not saying that there are some good black people out there that I want to deal with. What you're saying is all of them are bad. Okay? And when Officer Brandon Tatum puts that narrative out there about black people being bad, Well, no, see, he wants the whites to say, well, what about some of the good blacks out there that don't sag their pants? No, Officer Tatum. What you don't understand is, for a check, you just traded in all the black people, including yourself, with the rest of the hoodlums. Okay?
With your MAGA
so
hat,
now,
nigga.
when the whites start coming up with that same narrative that they don't want nothing to do with your ass, now you upset, you want to call out racism. But the real racism comes from people like us who go out there and say that, all right? Now, again, it's already been racism, but what I'm talking about, that prejudice, rather. When we go out there and we get on our microphones and we start to say those things publicly, white people are becoming more emboldened than ever, all right? Conservative, white supremacist talking points now is no longer underground. Nick Fuentes was just literally on the New York Times, November 9th, okay? You now have platforms like Rumble that will not take you down for free speech, and it's getting stronger by the day. More people are putting money on Rumble more by the day. Twitter is getting more money by the day, or X rather, okay? So this is something that is going on, and it's something that is strong. So now this stuff starts to bite black people in the butt, and then Charleston White want to be like, wait, hold on, wait. It's okay for me to say it about you, but you can't say it about us. Here's the issue with that. When you're at the lowest of the totem pole, and I'm talking about when it comes to ownership, when it comes to earnings, when it comes to your money circulating in your community, it's hard for you to punish somebody for talking down on you. It's hard for you to make them cover territory or cover ground. For an example, if there was a Charlie Kirk that was black, the whites would not have liked that kind of person. There is no way that he would have been able to be, like, let's say, for example, canonized as a saint. It would have been the exact opposite. He would have been demonized. The only people that would have really appreciated him are the blacks, maybe some minorities, and maybe some whites who are on the outside. But because when whites own everything, or the majority of things, now you can put this guy up there as whatever you want, because you have the money, you have the numbers, you have the infrastructure. So the blacks can't really do anything about it because they don't have that. All right? Now, that's the difference. When you don't have as much, you can't punish people for what they say. It's difficult. Okay? So that's why you got to be more careful when you say things like, I dislike blacks, or I don't want to date black men, or I don't want to date black women. Because it hurts you more to say that than it hurts the whites to say that. Because now what's happening is when the whites go out and reproduce your content, not only can they not get fired now, they can make a lot of money now. Okay? Like, this is what's going on. Whites can be basically, you can make cash saying these things about the black community. And with Charleston White, maybe he realizes it, or if he don't, you're actually saying the same thing as Charlie Kirk. And I want to talk about some of the people that were having a problem with what he was saying. Shout out to the brother Malevolent Elephant. He said something that was very powerful. I hate that he has turned into one of these say and do anything to go viral types. He got too much game and he too talented for that. All right? So not only are you just saying it to go viral, you're literally hurting the black community or black people, whether you plan it or not. If this message goes viral, not everybody know you playing. And this is the danger. And then look at what Say Cheese put up there. Charleston White explains why he does not want his daughter to date a black man. Although I didn't necessarily hear it, I heard it was the opposite way around. I mean, it's still quite damaging. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Yoshi Jackson. Bye.
Hey man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. We on the road to 100K. Okay, if you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap that all shit up out yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. Get at you on the next one, and I'm gone. TYP the 9.